What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? There's like nothing to talk about this week. I don't feel like the PS5 Pro came out, but I don't have it, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like until more games start coming out to really showcase the power of it, it's kind of like a moot point. I did say that the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster looks absolutely fantastic, but like that's the remaster in itself, and then like with it's kind of like whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like nothing. I mean, something major happened this week, but nothing gaming related really. So it's just kind of like, all right. Uh, Metacritic apparently responded to like the review bombing of Veilguard. Honestly speaking, I wish they could have responded to literally any other game that has been review bombed over the last 10 years that I've been uh seeing this shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 10 years is hyperbolic, more like 8 years or something like that, right? But I'm here if you guys want to talk just for a little bit. We can talk about anything that you guys want to talk about, and then we can skedaddle. Like there's, but what's up, Blade X Brisky Arcade? Yeah, so I'm not even gonna tweet this out, y'all. We're just gonna keep it to the people who have the notifications on, and we're gonna skedaddle. But yeah, but yeah, what's up, Def Lloyd, baby? Yeah, let me tell you something, guys. I was pretty pissed earlier though. That could have been anger, caused by hunger though, and let me tell you why. All right. I was minding my business. Honestly speaking, I did this to myself. But it's just like I expect people to be annoying in general. I don't really expect my mutuals to come into my replies being obnoxious, right? Because like I feel like my mutuals have known me long enough to know that I wouldn't respond, I suppose, in the way that they'd expect me to respond, I guess you could say. Like I've said it multiple times that okay, if I'm enjoying something and you don't like it, and you come into my replies and you like start bashing it or trying to say that I'm wrong for enjoying myself, I'm just going to tell you I don't care about your opinion. But every time that happens, people get really angry at me. And I'm just like, I don't know why you're mad. This is not a new conversation. And again, if you're a mutual of mine, if you've known me or we've known of each other for a while, then you should know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I was talking about Veilguard and I said, hey, Veilguard's amazing. The lore implications, the things you learn is fucking insane. Just as someone who's played every game in the series multiple times, you could tell that the writers actually played the other games, right? The earlier games. And then I had one of my mutual he came into my replies and said, I doubt it. Now, okay, let's repeat what I said, okay? The context of the conversation is me saying, I've played the other games multiple times. You can tell that the writers played the other games or are aware of the lore of the earlier games because I'm talking about the lore that is revealed in the Veilguard, right? Are you following what I'm saying, Singer? I'm going to
I am
assume.
indeed following,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so I say that, right? And then he starts like just going off about like the writing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I said, what cuck YouTuber helped you form these doubts about whether or not the writers played the earlier games, right? Now, I would assume that given the context of the conversation, and I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, right? Because I feel like people have comprehension skill issues. They got reading comprehension skill issues, right? I'm talking specifically about whether or not the writers of the game are aware of the lore in the earlier games, okay? Now, I have 50 hours in this game, all right? I've played the other games multiple times, okay? Between Mass Effect and Dragon Age, I am more of a Dragon Age fan. I prefer the lore of Dragon Age. I prefer the storytelling in Dragon Age. I love Mass Effect, but I am more aware of the events in Dragon Age in comparison to Mass Effect, right? And I've played both of these game series like multiple times, right? Whew. Okay. So, my mutual says I watched gameplay footage of the writing And it's like BioWare hired a fifth grader, a Dragon Age fanfic writer, and a Twitter novelist, and writers who wrote for Ubisoft. I follow some BioWare content creators, and they're not fans of the writing, even an expert writer. And I'm just like, okay, so you watch YouTube, you watch game footage versus me who's actually played the game. Like, does that even make any sense to you? Like, let's sit down and think about this for a second. I don't understand people who it's like somebody played the game versus the person who didn't. And you, as someone who didn't play the game, are trying to tell the person who did that they don't know what they're talking about. It never makes any sense to me. And it goes back this issue in this community where people are like fucking, I don't know, it's weird. Like they want to be part of the conversation so bad. It reminds me of when like people come into, they would go into spaces and they would start like talking about a game or trying to join in about a game, and then you ask them for their stats or you ask them like specific questions and they don't even know what they're talking about. And it's just like, did you play this game? And they're like, well, well. I'm like, oh, why are you here? I don't understand. And so again, I'm talking about the fact that these writers know the lore of the game, right? And then he just keeps again, he's just talking about the writing, right? Now, I feel like saying the writing is bad versus the writers know what the lore is, those are two separate fucking sentences and they mean two separate things. You can be aware of the lore of something and still the writing could be bad or not the best. David Gator is a superior writer in comparison to whoever was writing this game, okay? That's my opinion. I'm enjoying the game and I'm enjoying the storytelling and the main through line plot of the game. I'm enjoying the side quests and the companion quests, uh, and like the lore involved in all of that. But the writing for Veilguard it's not like it's fucking Shakespeare, which I mean that's not even a good. It's a general kind of comparison that people use, like, oh, this isn't Shakespeare's writing. Like, it's not even that. It's like it's just not on the same level of David Gator, and like I feel like everybody is aware of that. Everybody knows that. But again, it's like the writing not being on the level of David Gator's doesn't mean that they don't know about the lore in the series, right? So I'm just like, what are you talking about? So he continues with, why would I pay $70 to play a fake RPG with terrible writing? Should I play a game just to witness harrowing romance that has the same level of writing as a romance movie on a Hallmark channel? Or how about a lesser version of Mass Effect 2? And I was just kind of like, I was like, okay, don't come into my mentions talking to me about this game again. If you see me post about it, keep scrolling. I don't care about the opinion of people who form their opinions from others. No hard feelings, though. And it's like, I don't understand why that's controversial or why that ended up being a problem. Because at the end of the day, if you did not play the game, then why are you in my replies talking to me about the game? I don't understand. Like, there's no point to it. Because I'm talking about something really specific to the game where you'd have to actually play the game and get several hours into the game to know what I'm referring to. So then he gets angry and he starts yapping. All right. What did he say? He says, I wouldn't want to read your review on the game anyway. It sounds like it'd be totally biased. And I said, well, why would I care about whether or not you'd want to read a review of the game from me? Like, what does that have to do with me? I don't review games. Like, I'll give my opinion on something, but I'm not doing full form reviews like Scale Up is, or I'm not making review videos for games like that. So I'm not sure why he would even bring that up, right? I said, I just don't want to talk about the game with someone who isn't interested in it. Why is that a problem? And he's like, and you're telling me he said, and you are telling me to determine that. Okay, I'm sorry. And you're telling me that to determine if a game's writing is good, I have to buy it, and I cannot say the game is worth it or not from footage I see on YouTube. You think you know better than what my eyes and ears are telling me. I guess I cannot watch any game trailers. And I said that the writers know the lore, not that the writing was good. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I thought we were talking about the lore, whether or not they know the lore of the fucking game, right? And then he was like, well, then you didn't play the other games because they got the Kunari lore wrong and they got Isabella's character wrong. And I'm like, here are my stats. Where are yours? Singer, can you guess what happened after I did that?
What happened?
I don't have my stats, Luca. I lost my stats. They got lost. I beat Origins and 2 on 360, but the account got lost. Which is like, no offense, but like that's like a classic Xbot like response, right? Where it's just like, oh, I did play it, but my account got lost. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll
I did actually lose
I
my original X360 account though.
no, I mean I understand that happened, but unfortunately, with how
I
things
forgot the
are,
password. I'll be honest, I forgot the
no,
password. It was like a couple of years.
again, and I understand that, but with how things are and how many fucking liars exist in this space, that's just not a good excuse. That doesn't work. It doesn't check out. That's not okay. It's not going to work for me. So after he said he lost his account, I just said okay. I said okay, and I just moved on. Because it's like at the end of the day, you can't prove it. I'll give an example. Um I watched my brother play Far Cry 3. I remember watching him play that, right? So then I was like, awesome. I went and I played Far Cry 3. Okay. You know? And then me and my brother, we would share his Xbox, right? We played Saints Row 3 together. It's his account, his old account. We played Saints Row 3 together, and then we also played Dead Space, right? I played Dead Space on his account. Okay. If someone were to ask me, like, hey, can you prove that you played those games? Okay. And I had only played them on his Xbox, all right? I wouldn't be able to prove that. So what I did was when I got my own systems, I went back and I played the games. I went back and I played Dead Space. I played Dead Space 2 and I played Dead Space 3 on Xbox. So, okay. And then I played Far Cry 3 on my PC. All right. That way I could be like, if someone ever asks me or questions me and it's like, you're talking about this game a lot. I don't know, like, I'm not sure if I actually believe you played this. I can be like, here are my stats right here. All right, now that's just me. That's just what I do, but that's just because I know how people are in this community, right? So I was just absolutely like baffled that someone would just question whether or not, or I'm sorry, accuse me of not playing the other games after I flat out said I played the other games. And then when I'm like, where are your stats so you can prove that you played them too? They're just like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure where they're at. I lost my account. I'm like, all right, cool. This conversation's completely pointless. And what else is pointless about it is that I can't even tell you guys exactly the context of what I was referring to in regards to the lore because it's a major, major, major spoiler and the game just came out. But if you had looked at those reviews and you saw how some of the reviewers were like at the beginning, were like, and then they talk about how you get further and further into the game and you're like, holy shit, this is actually awesome. That's pretty much what's happening with me too. Because as I was playing it, I was like, yeah, the dialogue is shaky. Yeah, this is like some quippy dialogue. Yeah, this is like I miss David Gator's writing, honestly speaking. I miss the writing from the other games in general, right? From the other writers. But okay. Like it's like whatever. You get used to it and you move on. And then as the game continues to go further on and you start to learn more and you start to see more of the character dynamics and learn more about the companions and their quest lines, which several of the quest lines tie into the main campaign. And it's like, no, you need to do these companion quests to know what the fuck is going on. Like, this all ties in together. You can make these major decisions throughout the game as well that end up coming back. And it's like, oh, well, I did this one thing. And now this is the effect of it 5-6 hours later. Right. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So it's like, I think it's a good game. It's amazing. Honestly speaking, again, the lore implications alone that you discover from this game have lasting effects throughout the entirety of the series. The things that I learned today go back to Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. Characters from Dragon Age Origins and 2. Major characters from Origins and 2. And it's like answering questions that were posed in those earlier games. And it's learning more about so many. Honestly, I feel like this is like I mean, I won't know for sure until I get to the end of the game, obviously, and see whatever the ending is. But I feel like this could be like the end of the Dragon Age series with everything that it answers. You know what I'm saying? And like through line story, right? Later, the Dragon Age Origins. It's the fifth blight, right? You know, you conquered the fifth blight. There's supposed to be two more after that, right? But you know, things that happen in the story, it's like I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for people, but it's just like the storyline. It's a good storyline, even if the writing is shaky. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there are several aspects that go into storytelling, and writing is one of them. But like the overarching storyline is also the other thing. You know, character dynamics is also another thing. Character writing is also another thing. And so there are all several pieces that come into play when forming an overarching story. And I feel like this game is very weak when it comes to the dialogue, but when it comes to character dynamics, I like the character dynamics here significantly more than I like the character dynamics in Inquisition. I like the characters in this one more than I like the characters in Inquisition. I listen, I'm like even thinking on it like the main people I was with, okay, like I romance Sarah, but I don't know if I really like Sarah as a character. You know what I'm saying? Like her personality quirks weren't for me. But, you know, I romanced her because that was part of, one of the character storylines I went through when I was doing my role playing for the game, right? So, that like, Sarah is not a, like, memorable character for me, and neither is Cole. Cole is not a memorable character for me. Like, he is what he is in himself, like, the the basis, the essence of who he is as a character is interesting, but him as a character in himself is not interesting to me, right? So it's like whatever. I did not care about Blackwell, whatever the fuck, Blackthorn. I don't know what his name is, whatever. The fake Grey Warden, okay? I did not care about him at all. And I wasn't interested. I mean, I did his companion quest, but I didn't care about it. Like I was not interested in learning more about him. And then who else from Dragon? I like Iron Bull, okay. And honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but, like, my first playthrough especially, my favorite characters were Solus, Dorian, and yeah, Solus and Dorian, honestly speaking. Who are the other fucking characters in this goddamn I can't even remember. I think oh, wait, Solus, Dorian, Cassandra. Those are my favorite characters. Those are the characters I always had with me. And those are the characters that still are I still find interesting, right? And it's funny that, you know, I say that because Solus and Dorian still play a role in the Veilguard. Cassandra doesn't, but Cassandra was in Dragon Age 2. So, you know, there's that connecting point. So for me, when it comes to like the character dynamics and the dynamics, character storylines, companion quests, and just the characters in himself, I prefer the characters in the Veilguard over the ones in Inquisition, right? I think the storyline for the Veilguard so far, I would say I don't know, maybe Inquisition and Veilguard are probably neck and neck. They're both very good storylines, right? The writing in Inquisition is better than in the Veilguard though, for the characters, I would say. And like except for Corypheus, you know? But Corypheus was never supposed to be like he was always supposed to be like a he's not the he's the main villain, but he's not like the main villain. You know what I'm saying? Because Corypheus was a DLC boss for Dragon Age 2, right? Corypheus is like a hawk boss, you know? So for me, you know, I definitely prefer the main villains in Dragon Age Veilguard compared to Inquisition. I think the storyline in Inquisition or apologies in Veilguard based on yeah, you know honestly I would say the storyline in Veilguard now that I think about it and I'm talking about it is significantly better. I think Elganon and Gillenane are much more interesting than Corypheus is. I think the concept of applying the blight with them is significantly more interesting than Corypheus is and what he was trying to do. I miss my Inquisitor, I do, but I like Rook. I like Rook a lot. I think they're very sweet and funny, and I think that's by design. I find it unfortunate that you can no longer really pave the way for the kind of character that you want to be. You cannot be evil in this game. All right, like it's just not possible. You can't be an asshole in this game. Not really. Like you can say a couple of quippy things, but it's like the dialogue does not match the text doesn't match what you actually say, right? And someone had said like it's because Varric specifically chose Rook, and Varric would not choose someone who's not a good person. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a that is a throwaway explanation that people had to make up in order to make it make sense that you're not you can't role play in this really. You can't role play in this. Like you can either be it's just I don't know. Inquisition is better when it comes to that. But overall, specifically when it comes to the lore in this game has implications for Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age Inquisition. It answers questions that were posed in all three games. It closes out storylines that were open through all three games, okay? So it's like for me, when people are talking about this game and it's like you don't even know, I can't even tell if you know what the fuck you're talking about because nothing you say has any fucking merit because you're getting your opinions from other people. Does that fucking make sense? Like, how am I supposed to take you seriously when your opinion is formed off of the opinion of other people who have agendas? These people, I got to that scene where it's like the fucking the push-up scene when you misgender somebody or whatever that Isabella was doing. And I was just sitting there, and as she was like doing her push-ups, I was thinking to myself, it's like, oh, okay, it's this scene. It is a side quest to a side quest. You never have to see it. Tosh is like, you want to come get some drinks with me in Balara. It's like, all right, cool. But you don't have to go and get drinks with Tosh and Balara. It's not directly related to Tosh's main companion quest. So you can completely ignore that quest. And then after Isabella was done doing her push-ups, there's the prompt where you could ask more questions about like, okay, well, why would you do that? Talk to me about like the gender stuff, all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just skipped it. Because I don't need to see that to understand the concept of what they were going for. And I also don't care. So it's just like for me, I just skipped it and I just moved on. It was a 2-minute scene. A 2-minute scene in a 50-hour game. And people are like, this game has the most terrible, horrible, fucking atrocious, egregious writing ever. Every scene is like this. Every scene is. I'm like, okay, you don't know what you're talking about because not every scene is like that. That is I think in total, when it comes to that gender shit, for Tosh, I think Tosh's main storyline is maybe 20 minutes in total or something like that when it comes to like their companion quest. I would have to look up like how many scenes that you would get for that, but it's like maybe 20-30 minutes. And if you just choose not to do Tasha's companion quest, you're good. Like you don't have to do their if you don't like trans people or non-binary people, you can just completely ignore that character and move on with your fucking day. Every single line of dialogue that is involving their goddamn gender is optional. So it's just like baffling to me that people saw that shit, ran with it, and suddenly it's every aspect of the game. Now again, the dialogue is weak in this game. Like that's not even a fucking question, right? Like it is. But it's just like, all right, it is what it is. It's not going to be as good as the other games. And that's something you have to consider for yourself as you're playing through it. Like, am I going to hyperfixate on this and oh, this is just so awful. I hate it so much. And you're like 40 hours into the game. Or you're gonna be like, all right, they got quippy ass dialogue. It is what it is. It's whatever, right? It's really a conversation and a choice you got to make for yourself. But one thing I will not tolerate is people who have only played Dragon Age Origins, or people who have never played these games, trying to tell me anything about these fucking games. It is an insult. And I just won't. You guys know, people who've been here for a while, I don't play a lot of games. You guys know this. I'm very specific. I'm real particular about what I play. But the games I do play, I'm very, very passionate about them. I put a lot of energy into them. I put a lot of hours into them. Okay? So it is it genuinely bothers me when people who don't know what they're talking about try to come and act like I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to games I'm passionate about and series I'm passionate about. And so it's just really unfortunate because, again, this is like one of my mutuals, and I feel like the hatred and that this game, the conversation surrounding this game has been so obnoxious to the point where people are starting to lose their fucking minds. All right, people saw those goddamn trans scars again, like the top surgery scar again, which is an option and a character creator, and form the basis of their entire opinion on that, and conclusively stated that this game would be a failure, would be a flop, and would not be good because of it. Because of an option and a character creator that you can ignore. Options and character creators that you can ignore. They also, someone just posted like a scene where Tosh is like, oh, nobody likes being a woman. And it's completely out of fucking context. All right. And it's like, the wider conversation is I'm with my wife, Nev, okay? I come upon Nev and Tosh talking, and Tosh is being an asshole to Nev. And Nev's like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, are you good? Is you cool? And Tosh calms down, apologizes to Nev, and then Nev's like, do you like being like, do you want to be referred to as a woman? Do you like being a woman? Tosh is like, no one likes being a woman. And then because I'm a woman, the game gave me the option to say I like being a woman. So it's not like it's fucking erasing goddamn cisgender women. It's not doing that. I said I like being a woman, but if you don't, that's okay too. That's it. So, and again, I chose to engage in that dialogue, but it is an option. And Tasha's main quest line has a lot to do with the fact that Tasha's a fire breather, right? It also has to do with their mom. Like, don't get me wrong. I have some issues with Tasha's character. I also have issues with Tosh being a romanceable character, considering that their behavior is very juvenile. But I can't even get into that with people because people start fucking talking about the gender shit and they start freaking out about the gender shit. I can't have a coherent adult conversation with adults, which is so crazy to me. People have had their brains rotted by being online 24 fucking 7. You have been entrenched in hatred and bigotry that you just it just baffles me. That, and when people bring that online rhetoric to the real world, it sounds as ridiculous. It sounds even more ridiculous. My coworker is a Trump supporter, okay? He is also a Andrew Tate fan, a Fresh and Fit fan. He's a red pillar, right? Surface level though, because it's like when I actually talk to him and we start having like real conversations, I'm like looking at him like everything you say is completely on the opposite of the nonsense that you sprout when you're like, oh, hey, check out this video I just saw of this. And then I have to say, well, that's probably like, take for instance, I'll give an example. He was talking about Andrew Tate. And I was like, isn't Andrew Tate being investigated for like sex trafficking? And my coworker's like, oh. And I was just kind of like, so, if he's got this kind of reputation on his hands, and mind you, Andrew Tate has come out and said a lot of egregious things, especially about 15-year-old girls, right? And I was explaining this all to my coworker, and he was like, oh. And it's like, okay, like, all right. Or he'll come and we'll talk about like like he'll bring up like so many online discourse he will bring up to me in real life, and I will just calmly explain like this how something doesn't make sense or how something is irrational, and then he'll be like, oh, okay, and then we just move on, right? And that's how it sounds like when people bring like that online discourse into the real world. Normal people do not care about that shit. Okay? They're like, "All right." They know how to separate that shit. You know what I'm saying? And again, like once I actually hey, knocking on your brain. I know you have a brain in here. I've seen it. He's like, "Oh, okay." And we just have normal conversation. So it's just like I just hate what the internet has become. I hate the online discourse. People are so fucking annoying when it comes to this shit. And it's like also I feel like so many the room nuance is dead if it even ever existed. People don't have reading comprehension skills. That's by design, all right? And people don't understand nuance, and people don't understand that you can believe multiple things at once, right? I can say that the lore in this game is good, and then I can also say, but the writing is not the best. Those are two separate fucking sentences. And the fact that people don't understand that shit is baffling to me. I hate what this shit has become. And I am not looking forward to Mass Effect. Mostly because, Andromeda was a little. I can't ask me to name one character from that fucking game. I cannot. All right. I don't remember any. The character writing was horrendous for that game. The storyline could have been interesting, but it wasn't. And I did not care about the writer twins. So, whatever. The gameplay was fantastic though. And I'm hoping that BioWare takes, they're able to sift through all the bullshit and they're able to take the criticism, the valid criticism, and actually use that to shape their future titles, because I really do not fucking want to deal with another 3 months of people whining, bitching, and complaining because BioWare decides, which BioWare games have always been extremely fucking quote unquote woke, that because they added another aspect of diversity, the game is automatically fucking bad. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to deal with it. I am so glad that this game did well. I'm so glad for it because it really just exposed the hypocrisy of that group of people. Horrible group of people. I just, but whatever. I believe in karma, and I'm hoping that the worst of them get what they deserve. Ugh, I'm on my hands and knees begging and I'm praying. And I'm talking specifically about the people who are openly bigoted, like Synthetic Man. Like, I need to get his ass the fuck up out of here, man. Please. Please, or Andy Pan's Gaming. That guy's just a grifter. He doesn't even believe any of the shit he says, but he'll be like, guys, you're just mad at me because they're gay. It's like, what? Like, get his ass up out of here too. All right. Or Hypnotic. Get his hateful ass out of here too. I saw they were on his ass on Twitter, and I was like, good. Good. Yeah, get those people the fuck up out of here. They may get more views than me, and that's what all that matters to them, but they are hateful little shits, and I don't like them at all, but whatever. Anyway, what's up, guys? Okay, so what's up, Lionel saying, right, Luca, an eye for an eye? Hell fucking yes. Segan says people overuse the word woke. That's true. It's been fucking, people don't even know what the fuck that shit even means anymore. They use it for everything, and they use it as a dog whistle too. Also, the DEI stuff. DEI is like a real fucking department, and like at jobs. Like, it's not, people are they can't conceptualize it, right? Like, they can't really imagine it because I'm assuming that these people don't have real fucking jobs. But my company has a DEI department. And it's not like the most, oh, this is the most horrific, horrible, awful thing ever. The only thing that had me side-eyeing, okay, guys, let me fucking tell you this. We were doing a Latino History Month, and initially, they wanted to do Taco Bell for Latino History Month. I was like, you must be fucking out of your goddamn mind. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Thankfully, someone took over, and that was not the case. But I was like, damn, they might as well do fried chicken and fucking watermelon for Black History Month. Are you nuts? Are you insane, right? And like, that's how you can tell the difference between people who actually care about and are from the culture versus people who are like, oh, I'll just, throw them a little taco, no big deal. And thankfully they didn't do that shit because I would have gone to HR and I would have gone to fucking HR and I would have complained. Okay. I'd be like, there's no way you thought that this was okay. So, nasty work, man. Fucking vile. But yeah, I've been on that. I also have not been sleeping well. So, true. Metaphor. Metaphor is fantastic, by the way. That's gonna be my game of the year. Crack cocaine simulator, honestly speaking. I just was not able to. I ruined my sleep schedule and my eating habits. Well, I mostly just ruined my sleep schedule because of that game. But yeah, Metaphor is going to be my game of the year. It's not even a question. So, but yeah, get Smash JT, get that motherfucker out of here too, Aquarius. Disgusting. What's up, Captain? Prowl, exactly. What's up, Gregor? Exactly, Demetrius. Oh, I love pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles? I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, no, honestly, Prowl, Andrew Tate has come out and admitted to these things himself, on his on previous platforms. He's just, I don't even know why you would come out and admit to these things. It's just baffling to me. It's just baffling. Like, he came out and said that he would be with a 15-year-old girl. He said that before. So I'm just kind of like, he's also said that he would contact the, like, it's just out. I can link a video, but like, it's this whole thing, right? Oh yeah, but like, honestly, 2D Realms, I'll be honest with you, guys. After I was done being annoyed about what happened on Twitter, I ate dinner and I felt much better. You guys know that my anger issues spiral out of control when I don't eat or sleep. I am like a toddler, honestly speaking. So, anyway, but yeah, Singer, like, what have you been up to? And then before you get into that, shout out to Cora, member for 41 months. I appreciate you saying, but I need to have played the other games before getting into this one. Please play the other games. I know that it's difficult because the frame rate is horrendous. And I think if you have a higher card, Origins does not run well on PC. I think Ramon was telling me that. I think I don't remember what card he has, but also Slow-Mo has like a 4080 and or 40, what is it called, Singer? The 40 series?
What, 4060, 4070, 4080, 4090?
Okay. I think Slow-Mo has a 4080 and he was saying Dragon Age Origins does not run well. So, but I was playing Dragon Age Origins on my 3080 and it was running fine. Now, I didn't get super far in it, so I don't know how far he got before it started having issues. So that's something to keep in mind. I played Origins and Dragon Age 2 on my PlayStation 3. So, but listen, it would be fruitful, in my opinion, for you to play the previous games in the series before playing the Veilguard, so you can you can understand the full scope of what you're seeing, what you're playing. You don't have to, but I feel like it would be more impactful for you overall if you knew the lore of the entire series. Of course, you could always just watch a YouTube video or something, but there's just something different about playing through it and experiencing it, getting and catching all the little nuance versus like watching YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? But what's up, Delta? What's up, Dave? How's it going, Arcade? Oh yeah, we're definitely doing a spoiler cast, 100%. Go to the Reddit for the Dragon Age Veilguard for proper convo. That is good. That's good to know. All right. What's up, True Bleed? And what's up, guys? How's everyone doing? But go ahead, Singer. What have you been doing lately?
Well, nothing much. I don't know, just playing some games, playing some League, bit of Metaphor, been playing Mech Warrior 5 Clans, because I love mechs, which is a good game, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know, if you're going to play Dragon Age Origins on PC, make sure you download the mod fixes, there's Quinn's fix, there's the CPU crashing fix, there's the memory leak fix. There's a couple of fixes you should download before you do it. I recommend modding it anyway because if you look at the visuals before the mods, it's horrible. Like the game hasn't aged well. So
Definitely has
install
not. You are correct.
install all the graphics mods. It cleans it up a lot. It sharpens some of the stuff. It tones down some of the bad graphics. See, like when I'm playing it, I got like 20 mods installed, but like some of them are quality of life or missing scenes, cut content. Um, so yeah, I would generally do that because once you install all the fixes and whatnot, the game runs super smooth. Maybe slow mo needs probably has them installed, but maybe he's missing one or two. Because
Yeah,
it has a
let
whole
Mo
bunch of
know that too.
issues. Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of mods that you need to fix it because it's rough on PC that game. But then I mean, yeah, just been playing a bit of Baldur's Gate 3 because I'm still on my honor mode run. And the honor mode run is obviously the hardest difficulty. And you only have one save file, so you can't save Scum. So you're kind of just like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. But if you beat it, you get a whole bunch of like limited edition stuff like dice and other rewards. So I want to do it just to say that I did it. I'm one of the few people who did it on
Oh, that's
honor
valid.
mode. I mean, it's difficult, very very difficult because everything is dialed up. The dice rolls actually work against you rather than like neutral or for you. So yeah, I mean it requires a lot of thought in combat. Like you can't just walk through combat. Like you'll be there for easily half hour trying to just right. If I move here, do this, do that. So that's fun. Um, but from what I've heard about Dragon Age, I mean, I'll play it when I get to it. Unfortunately, that is not now because I still got so many games to go, and then Stalker 2 is coming out, and then Marvel Rivals comes out, and then obviously I'm looking forward to Avowed, so there's that. And it's going to be a good time for RPG fans. Well, it is a good time for RPG fans because there's a lot of good JRPGs and it's a lot of good Western RPGs. So yeah, I mean that sums up pretty much everything. Oh, and Arcane season 2 TV show came out.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get back into season 1 myself. That is
It
that's
just
that is a show that has some very good writing and
oh
storylines and
oh
characters.
it's superbly done.
Very,
And
very well done.
shout out to Riot Games because they nailed it. And obviously, since I played League for like 8 years, I know all the storylines and the characters, so I can't speak on it because I'll unknowingly reveal spoilers at some point, I'm sure. So, like, I just have to just sit on the sidelines and just don't say a thing because I don't know what plot points. I have like 5 characters in my head that are going to appear in this season. I don't know if they will, but I have, I'm like, okay, so where we got so far in the story, because the characters as they are in League, this is before then. So this is how they become who they are in League. So, I mean, I know the history. I know how the storylines collect. I saw it in season 1. So I can't wait to get into season 2 later.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's like if I
so yeah.
came to you and I was trying to tell you something about fucking League of Legends. You know damn well I don't know anything about League of Legends, and I was trying to act like you don't know what you're talking about. It's just baffling.
hmm yeah, it's like I appreciate that. It's stuff like that. It's like when like good writing when you're on about good like how the quest line and everything the payoff is in the next game. I liken that to Obsidian. That's why I'm so excited for Avowed, because it takes place in the same universe of Pillars of Eternity. Obviously, it takes place in a different location, but there's going to be a whole bunch of lore dumps on characters, I'm sure, locations, empires. Um, there's going to be a whole bunch of things because everything carries from Pillars 1 to Pillars 2, it carries over. A lot of the like decisions. Did you kill this character? Did you let this character live in the first game? If you let this character live, they'll appear in the second game. If you kill them, they won't appear. And there's all these kinds of things. So, and I love how everything has a knock-on effect. And it's like, yeah, you could save this person. You're like, okay, I spare your life. For example, you spare a guy's life in Pillars 1. You're like, okay, cool. This is going to have no repercussions. In Pillars 2, he's the guy who pins you in the corner and gets you jailed. How would I know that from playing the first game? Absolute bananas. So, yeah, I mean, it's, and then I was like, right, let me go replay Pillars 1 and kill him. Because, it's kind of annoying. So I'm looking forward to Avowed, and that's what gives me a lot of hope for Avowed, because RPGs with actual player agency are superb, like Baldur's Gate, Pathfinder, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Sweet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to, let's see here. But yeah, we're going to keep it short, guys. I did want to say this. Blade X wants to talk about Dan Da Dan, which is fucking fire. Fucking fire. It's so good. It's so good. So it's currently airing on Crunchyroll. Please watch it. It is very, very good. It is by, I believe, the author of it works with the author of Chainsaw Man. So if that gives you an idea of like what kind of wacky, quirky kind of storyline that you can get from that. The opening is absolutely amazing. I love the characters. It is very, very, very good. I think anime has consistently been very good for the last couple of years. I mean, in general, but the last couple of years, especially when it comes to the seasons, with Frieren, with Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, with oh my goodness, with Solo Leveling, with Chainsaw Man. That is just fire, fire, fire. And Dandanan is like the latest really, really, really good series that I think that people should get into. So yeah, it's currently on Crunchyroll, so check that out. And of course, Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. Of course, Frieren is also on Crunchyroll. Just check out all those series, guys. I think they're absolutely fucking fantastic. Go ahead.
PSA, if you don't want to pay for it, there's other sites available.
Of course, sorry, I mean, no, I mean, I know, we're both from the era where, especially, watching anime on YouTube in parts, and then also watching like Kiss Anime and all the other illegal sites. Like, we already know how that goes. I just prefer paying for Crunchyroll just as a, I guess, small way to support the industry, considering how fucked things are over there. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be fair though, it's like, the way they get treated, it doesn't matter how much they get, they'll still get treated the same way.
That's true, kind you're of right.
Just, it's like it really doesn't matter because the show will be popular anyway. So like, I mean, if it's a good show, I don't know how they treat people now over there, but they work them to the dead. So
well, yeah, that's why there's so many. That's why there's so many like manga that cannot continue their series because of health issues. Like those deadlines are extremely detrimental. So, like I said, I just at least for anime, I do pay to watch that now. Like, and I've gotten so much free. I've watched so many series illegally growing up, but there wasn't really like a centralized place to watch it other than like Toonami and stuff and Adult Swim, and that like you had to wait for that. So. But yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah. No, I'm good.
This current anime season is actually fire too. There's Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon 5, season 5, which is really, really good. I'm glad the Munchies continuing. This season is absolute heat. So if you're into that kind of thing. And also, another highlight is Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, of course. It's, the latest thing, so you might want to get into that. Shangri-La Frontier Season 2 is going on right now. Get into that show. It's really, really good. Shangri-La Frontier is like the latest isekai, but it's just so good. How it's really well done. Um, Unfortunately, I thought Solo Leveling was coming out this season, but it's the next season. So
Well,
we
I'm
still
I'm
gotta
looking
wait.
forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they that have the animation like more crisp since it's like popular now. At least like, the series.
Well,
So,
I would imagine they'd get more budget because they didn't know how the first one was gonna go, right? So
mhm.
it's kind of here's your trial run, and then the second season should be increased. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the first one wasn't bad by any means.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was good. I just feel like it could be better too.
Oh yeah, I mean it could be better. But I mean that final fight scene on
Yes,
the
very
last
good.
episode, like, ooh, chef's kiss, so well done. And now we get to see my guy get his shadow army and
I can't fucking wait,
kill
man.
bodies and
It's
fools.
so cool. It's gonna be so good, man. What a great
Mm.
shout out to Lino. Lino already fucking knows for years. 4 years. I'm not even joking. Lino was like, read solo leveling. Read solo leveling. Read solo leveling. And I was like, yeah. And then I finally read it and I was like, Lionel, you're right, man. My bad. My bad. That shit is fire. It's really very good. So that's what's
We know
going on for the anime season. Go ahead.
we know he's gonna body some people.
Oh, 100%. I can't fucking wait. All right. And okay. Let's see here. All right, let's get this channel member topic and then we can skedaddle. Um okay. I did want to say this too. If y'all want to go ahead and tell me what crypto you're getting into and stocks, just go ahead. Throw that up in the chat because I'm trying. We got to make some money. If you're in the States, if those tariffs hit, I'm just saying, we got to get our money up, y'all. But so shout out to Amar bin Israel who's hanging out in the chat as well saying, okay, he said, as a Dragon Age fan since a teen, since Origins, going back to BioWare from Jade Empire, I gotta say, the Veilguard is not a good RPG game for me. The main story premise is great coming from Inquisition and Trespasser. The build up to who and what the elven mages are that declared themselves as god over their own people in the world. Perfect background and main story idea. The execution so far is bland. Let's see here. I'm past the first legit main RPG choice over, and I won't say what it is because it's spoiler, and it has actual consequences. It took some time, but it's dope. I don't really like the characters. The characters, when they speak to my rook or each other, is like watching the Teletubbies getting into it and resolving it in the episode. It's not dark, gritty, mature. It's very whimsical and not at all how Dragon Age made complex characters. The saving grace for me, to an extent, is that the game plays like Andromeda with a glow expiration. I'm sorry, with a God of War expiration. It's an evolved Dragon Age 2, basically. Yes, I agree. It's it's the game that BioWare could have made if they had more time, right? For Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age 2 is still a better written game, in my opinion, and has better characters, in my opinion as well. The gameplay is fine enough, but I need great RPG and it's not clicking yet. I'm still sticking around though until completion. I recruited the Necromancer and the Grey Warden brother. Have to get the Dragon Hunter. Anyway, how are you guys enjoying Veilguard? Hopefully better than me. So honestly speaking, Amar, I was actually right with you when I was around the same when I was around the same area as you or the same time as you. I was feeling the exact same way. I definitely was just kind of and I said it last week. I was like, this is not a good BioWare RPG, right? And me and Slomo discussed that at length and everything. But now that I'm okay, and since you are a BioWare fan and a Dragon Age fan and you actually know what the fuck you're talking about, I will say this. Do the side quests. Do the companion quest. And it will all come together. If you do the side quest and the companion quest, you will see more depth when it comes to expanding the lore and storytelling of the game. I would say a detriment to the companions is that initially their companion quests, I'm snoozing. I'm snoozing. Very boring. Okay. But as you continue on with their companion quests, they keep getting better and better. I think the only companion quest that okay, for me, in order of companion quests, Harding has the best companion quest, in my opinion. I actually think Harding is like the best character, but that's because she's a byproduct of Inquisition's writing. You know what I'm saying? But Harding's the best character with the best companion quest. After Harding, I would give it to Davrin, actually. Davrin's storyline, his companion quest is fucking fantastic. You learn more about the Grey Wardens, and it's amazing. It's really, really good. So Davrin's is good. I really, Emrich is my favorite character. So Harding's like the best character, like in terms of writing and her companion quest. But Emrich is my favorite character, and it's because he's just great. And I also like my character is also part of the Mornwatch, like Emrich is, and like just seeing the two of them interact and talk and discuss like things from their faction has been I love it so much. It's fantastic, right? So Emrich's story quest is great. I liked Balara's, but I feel like it's a bit I don't want to spoil it, but I was disappointed with Balara's companion quest by the end. Then there's Tasha's companion quest. Again, I have some issues with Tasha's character, and a lot of it just has to do with the fact that I'm like, how old is this character supposed to be? I feel like they're very juvenile and they are not fully formed as a person yet, and they're not fully aware of who they are yet. And it's like having a teenager hanging out with you and you're with a bunch of adults, right? Like it's just kind of like, all right. So I like Tosh, but I wasn't like a huge fan of their storyline or their companion quest. Mostly because I just like those fucking Anton are so like the ones that are on uh Ravane are just like are they're fucking boring, dude. You know, like the Dragon King is trash, dude. Like garbage, 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 garbage. So I didn't like that very much. Fucking, I do like Lucanus, but Lucanus, I don't want to get into it, but I do like Lucanus's quest. And unfortunately, even though Nev is like the one I'm romancing, Nev has like the worst companion quest in my opinion. And by worst, I mean that shit is just boring to me. I just find it very boring. It's not as engaging for me. And I also, yeah, like so, I hope that you but still do them. Do all of them. All right. Even as I say that, do all of them. You will get better gear from it. And especially like if you do the side missions in Minrathous, that will tie into the main quest line. Do the side missions. Well, I don't want to give spoilers for everything, but do the side missions, do the companion quests, and especially do the quests in the Fade. Do the quests in the Fade. Those are so important. The ones that tie in with Solus, so very important. Again, since you are someone who has played all the games, the things that you will learn will blow your fucking mind, dude. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. But yeah, I like it. Again, I wish Slomo was here to give his opinion, but he is asleep probably. I'm so like he texted me this morning, Singer, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't gone to bed yet," because he was up all night playing that damn game. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude, can you please take a nap before the show? Because I know you so well. I knew his ass wouldn't make it. I fucking knew. I told him to set an alarm. I knew, man. God damn. But shout out to No Envy, who's been a member for 48 months, saying Dragon Age Origins is the best Dragon Age game in my opinion. Dragon Age Origins is the best Dragon Age game. It is the best written. It has the best storyline. It has mm, it has very compelling characters who I listen to this day. I still love Leliana, Morrigan, and Alistair. I still love them very much to this day. They're not the best companions to me, but they're very, very good companions, right? But Dragon Age Origins has the best storyline, best character, best character. Okay, it has the best storyline, best overarching themes. It's the best RPG in the game, in the series. That is, it's the best RPG in the series. It's the one that gives you the most choice, and is the most. I think it is the one that is the most well thought out. And the origins that you can play through are all excellent, and the fact that all those characters exist, but only one of them can survive, and it's based on who you choose to play, is fucking fantastic, right? Dragon Age Origins is the best Dragon Age game. Now, my favorite Dragon Age game is Dragon Age 2. And it's because of the character dynamics. It is because it is a more personal story. When it comes to Inquisition and Origins, those companions are with you because there is a higher overarching storyline, right? You are trying to save the world. But in Dragon Age 2, they're with you because they fucking like you. They're like, yeah, you're Hawk. You're my fucking friend. You're my buddy. Your homies, basically. And so I felt like it was more personal with that. And I like the character dynamics in Dragon Age 2. They're very, very volatile, and I really enjoy that. Having like Mero, Anders, and Fenris in a party together. And that's another issue with the Veilguard. The characters like don't dislike each other like at all. Like there's no tension. I mean, there's some tension. But you know what? Considering the way I played through the game, I don't know if that tension expands or not because I played through it in a way where I did everybody's companion quest. So everyone gets along fine. So I don't know. I can't say definitively that there's any if there's any tension or issues or not or whatever when it comes to that one, right? But yeah, I definitely say Dragon Age 2 is my favorite. Dragon Age Origins is the best Dragon Age game though. And so if anyone's curious, my current order, and I have to beat the game first, right? But it's Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age Veilguard, Dragon Age Inquisition. And I love all the games, right? But Dragon Age Origins is the best written Dragon Age game and has the best storyline, in my opinion. It is the most there's not a lot of issues with it, honestly. I can't think of too many. It's the game that deserves a remake. They're not gonna do it, but if they were to remake Dragon Age Origins, the amount of money they would fucking make is actually like astronomical, dude. I would give them every cent in my fucking pocket. Anyway, yeah, what's up, Spider Ring? I'm glad you're liking it, Spider Ring. Yes. I like the tactical combat. I do miss that. I miss the tactical combat so bad. I miss it bad, guys. And I miss being able to control your fucking team, guys. And I miss having a full fucking squad, guys. Doing it Mass Effect style, I'm like, man, don't ever bring this shit back. Okay, Dragon Age is Dragon Age, and Mass Effect is Mass Effect. I'm not trying to have a marriage of the two. You know what I'm saying? I am not a fan of how like the combat is fantastic. It's fun, but I don't like the fact that they changed it so much, you know? And I wish it was still the same in regards to like you being able to control your companions and you having like the three companions with you. I really do miss that. But I understand that there were concessions that they had to make and there were time constraints. I considering the issues that this game has experienced, it is a miracle that they are able to come out with something so fucking competent. I'm actually baffled that this game is as coherent as it actually is. So, okay, that's pretty much it for me, Singer. I mean, you know, You just skedaddle. Really, Inquisition is your favorite? That makes it's a good game. I do like Inquisition. I love all the games, very very much. So, but yeah, right. So I guess Singer stepped away, but yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Eat these grapes, and I guess beat the game. I think I'm at the very end of the of Veilguard, and I'm gonna go beat the game. And you know, thanks for hanging out with us, even though there was like nothing to talk about. Like
It really wasn't.
like it's just this shit is dry. Okay. But anyway, let's see here. I'm looking up how long it takes to beat this game. I'm definitely like I am not a trophy hunter, so you're not gonna catch me on this shit for much longer, right? But okay, and it seems like it's checking out. I'm about 50 hours in, and it says it takes 53 hours to beat the main and the side quest. So I'm almost done with the game, and then I can give my opinion. I'm probably gonna be like the others. The game's probably like an 8 for me. I would say, like, definitely like an 8 for me so far. And yeah, and that's like I think that's pretty much on par with Inquisition. I think Inquisition might have been an 8 for me as well. Maybe it's like an 8.2 or something if I want to be fucking really arbitrary with it. But like, I don't know. I have to finish the game, of course, and then I'll give my final score after I like continue like thinking overall about how I feel about it. I do like it more than Inquisition, and that's mostly because I like the characters significantly more than I like the characters in Inquisition. But the characters in Inquisition have better dialogue options in comparison to Veilguard. So there's a lot that goes into it. Fortunately for me, I know how to have a nuanced fucking conversation in comparison to some other people. It's always such a pleasure when I find other people who have working brains, and it's very rare to find that shit, unfortunately, because there's so many people who will speak with such confidence, and then it's just like, what are you talking about? So that's it for me. We'll be back next week. Hope God, on my hands and knees, begging for interesting topics next week. But Singer, thanks for joining me on this little mini-sode.
No problem. Always good to come through.
Yeah. I'll catch you boys later. Have a good weekend. And I'll be on the hell site that is Twitter. You already fucking know. I've been taking breaks. But that's a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm just so fucking busy at work because I have a job where I have to be in person, and they are on my ass, man. Let me fucking tell you. So, I'm not on Twitter all that much. But I am on Twitter on the weekends and at night, man. And I am. But anyway, catch you guys later. Peace. Have a good night.